When you work these problems, we want to follow a general plan of simplifying each side of the equal sign before we start solving anything. Simplifying consists of distributive property and combining like terms. So let's look at the left-hand side first. When I look at the left-hand side, I have a 12 minus 2x plus 8. I notice that I have two terms that don't have an x on them. We call those constants. I can combine those. 12 plus 8 is 20, so I can simplify the left-hand side by calling it 20 minus 2x. And that is as simple as it can get. So I'm done on the left-hand side with simplifying. On the right-hand side, I have a distributive property. I am distributing the 3 by multiplying it by each term. When I take 3 times 2x, I get 6x. When I take 3 times minus 4, I get minus 12. That is as far as I can simplify the right-hand side. Now that I'm done simplifying both sides, I want to set out on a plan to get the x's on one side and the numbers on the other. It really doesn't matter which side is which, but a lot of people look for where the bigger x is. And in this case, the x is bigger on the right. So they use that as this is the side they're going to call the x side. And then this is the side that they're going to call the number side. So if the x's are going to end up on the right, then I need to get rid of this 2x on the left. I do that by doing its opposite. But what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I want the x's on the right-hand side of my equal sign, and I've done that by getting rid of it on the left. Since I want the numbers on the left-hand side of the equal sign, I want to get rid of this negative 12 over here that's on the right. And I do that by adding 12 to both sides. When I do that, it will take care of the numbers on the right. And I'll end up with exactly what I wanted. I end up with only 32 on the left, which is a number, and I end up with 8x on the right, which is a letter. So now my last step is to divide by what is being multiplied by the x. And in this case, it's an 8. I divide on both sides, and I find out that x is equal to 4. Now you want to try the next problem by simplifying each side before you start solving. Pause the video. You can click it when you're ready to check your answer or if you get stuck. Now that you're back to see how to do the second problem, I'll remind you I'm going to draw a line down the middle to show the two sides of my equation. On the left-hand side, I want to seek to simplify this by multiplying this negative 2 into the parentheses. That's called the distributive property. Now 6 is not affected by the distributive property, but negative 2 times 4x is minus 8x. Negative 2 times minus 5 is plus 10. Is this simplified yet? It is not, because I can still combine some like terms. I have a 6 and a 10 that are both constants, so I can add those together and get 16. The 8x cannot be combined, so that is still minus 8x. My left side is now simplified. On my right side, I see there's no distributive property, but there is some combining like terms. There's a single x over here and a 3x. I can put those together to get 4x, and I still have my minus 20. Both sides of the problem have now been simplified. So now I'm ready to start solving. I want to make a plan. In this plan, I think I'm going to get my x's on the right because the 4 is bigger than the negative 8. So I'm going to put my x's on this side of the problem, and I'm going to put my numbers on this side of the problem. The numbers without the x. So if I want the numbers without the x on the left, then I need to get rid of this negative 20. And I do that by adding 20 to both sides. That will get rid of the number on the left, or excuse me, on the right. If I want the x's on the right, then I need to get rid of the 8x that's on the left. Notice that we're doing this in the same step. When I add the 8x, that's going to get rid of the 8x on the left. So now I'm left with 36 on the left, which is all my numbers, and I'm left with 12x on the right, which is my x's. My last step is to divide by 12, and x is equal to 3.